Welcome to T-Dub Sports Podcast, your new go-to pod for sports, entertainment, culture, and humor. Today on T-Dub, we recap Week 9 of the NFL, Monday Night Football between the Cowboys and the Giants, and some NBA games. I'm Brock, and I'm T-Dub. All right, Week 9 of the NFL is in the books. Got a lot of games to talk about. We got the Chiefs-Vikings recap, the Browns and the Broncos. I don't even want to get into the Browns, man. That's insane. Eagles and the Bears, the Colts and the Steelers, the Packers-Chargers, Pats-Ravens, and we're also going to recap Monday Night Football, give out some best bets as well. We got killed this week in the best bets. Like, all of us did pretty bad. But, we're going to bounce back this week and get some of those wins back. Let's start off with the Chiefs-Vikings. Malik, I know you're happy about your Chiefs. They won a game that they probably weren't expected to win by any means. Mahomes didn't play. Matt Moore was in again for, the third straight week now. Mm-hmm. And you guys pulled out a gritty win. Came down to the last-second field goal, 46-yard try by your man Butker. He was amped up the whole game. He was screaming and fist-pumping and stuff. How did you feel about that win? I mean, were you even expecting that?
Not really, but this is what happens when the defense steps up. We saw the defense actually play, and this is what happened, man. We got the dub. I'm not really too worried. Mahomes will be back next week. If our defense can keep it up, we're going to the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
We're going to the Super Bowl, bro. You saw the Pats, so.
Yeah.
You saw Brady.
We'll get into the Pats later, but, also one thing I do want to say about the Vikings, people are blaming – they're not. People are blaming Kirk Cousins for everything, but you got to realize their running game got nothing done.
Because of their defense.
And they're a run-first team. And
pass. Exactly.
Dalvin Cook was projected to get 24 points on, fantasy.
What did he
and, DraftKings, probably 10. He didn't get any touchdowns. He only had, 80 yards. He was completely immobilized, which is from the Chiefs defense, you don't expect that at all. There are other guys that they had running the ball, like Amir Abdullah. He had a touchdown, but, you don't really expect him to be running the ball at all. And the other guy, their fullback, I think his name is Christian Ham or something like that. He did pretty good as well, but
Kirk was just bad, bro.
Kirk wasn't even bad. That's the thing. He really wasn't even that bad.
Bro, he had two chances. Well, he had the ball He could have drove the ball down the field and scored. It was a quick 3-and-out. We got the ball back and we kicked the field goal.
Yeah, that last defensive stand was pretty impressive. Can't lie, because I was really thinking the Vikings were going to kick a game-winning field goal, and that was that. But they didn't. And the Chiefs, they made some moves. Matt Moore, he had a really good performance. Yeah, he did his job. Tyreek Hill also had a great performance. Your man Damian Williams had a 91 yards
touchdown, man.
Tyreek Hill, it was so funny. So Damian Williams, he was running. No one was even near him. You know what I mean? He was probably at the Vikings 40. No one was even near him. A bunch of missed tackles and stuff. And then all you see is Tyreek Hill come out of nowhere and get in front of him and starts tapping him on the shoulder, give him a high five or something like that.
He said this is what Tyreek Hill said. He said at the 5 or at the 10-yard line, he told him, "You got 5 more yards before I take the ball and score myself." Because he did that because I didn't know Damian Williams. He says that he's the fastest Chief player, which obviously he's not. I don't know why he says that. I don't know if it's a joke or not.
Fourth.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a joke or not, but he says that. So Tyreek Hill said he did that just to show him who's still the fastest.
And Cole Hardman also said he beat Tyreek Hill in a 100-yard dash.
Yeah, which is a little scary.
Hardman's fast.
He is fast.
He's fast, but Hill's defies logic with how fast he is. Dude could probably win in the Olympics or something like that. Plus, he always has
run track.
Pads on the helmet. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's just it's even crazier to think about. So congrats to the Chiefs. They're 6-3 now, in a good spot. The Vikings, I don't know, man. That was a must-win game. The Packers lost. The Lions lost. They could have easily basically won the division. If they or not won the division. I'm kind of gassing it, but they could have been in a really good spot. They could have been, I think, tied with the Packers had they just won. Instead, the Packers still got that safe cushion. They got that lead. I don't know, man. The Vikings, it's something about the Vikings in the first half. They always look like a Super Bowl caliber team, and then the second half, they start falling apart. And this is just a game where you can't really lose, and here they are losing these kind of games against a backup too. Browns, Broncos, man, we all had, or at least me and Malik, we had bets on this game. And actually tied it too in the podcast. He had the Nuggets Browns parlay, but the Nuggets lost anyway, so it didn't matter at that point. But Browns, man, it's just
sad.
What can we even say that we don't already know? You know what I mean? What can we even say?
It's Baker,
It's
bro.
sad.
It's all Baker.
It's not even just Baker. It's their defense got burned too by a fourth string quarterback.
I mean that like was just a bad defensive game, but their defense is good. We've seen their defense get stops and shit. Baker just can't score. Their defense can only do so much. When you're out on the field, Baker's getting like 3 and outs every possession. You're out on the field so much. Like, there's only so much you can do.
And
they're not an elite defense. They just get the job done.
Odell Beckham was crying after the game. Not literally crying, which, it's Odell. He could actually be literally crying, but he wasn't. He was upset. He said, he's like, he said something on Twitter I was reading from like a reporter. He said, like, I'm dying out here to get the ball. It's just not coming in my way. Yeah. Something along those lines. And it's true. He doesn't get the ball at all because every time he gets the ball, 20 yards, 30 yards.
Plays, yeah.
But Baker just doesn't hit him. And he loves Landry. Landry's his go-to guy. I guess they got better chemistry or something. And Landry's just a mess. I really don't understand why people like Landry so much. I never thought he was that good of a wide receiver. Thought he was kind of average. He drops so many passes and he doesn't make plays.
Max is saying Landry the pass on 4th down that Landry didn't catch. There were 2 people on him. Like not every catch is just a given in the NFL, bro.
I mean, if you're a star wide receiver,
he shouldn't have thrown it to him anyway, though.
Alshon Jeffrey's making that catch. You know what I mean? Like guys with hands are making that catch.
He's not.
Alshon Jeffrey's made some crazy catches.
He wouldn't have made that catch, bro. It's common sense. You don't throw it to someone in double coverage who's obviously not an elite receiver. No one thinks Landry's like the best receiver in the league. No, everyone respects him because he's a good receiver. But you wouldn't throw it to – if you have Odell and Landry on your team and it's 4th and 4, no one's going to throw to Landry. No one in the world is going to throw to Landry. You're going to throw to Baker. Odell. And Odell was open, and he threw it to Landry because Baker's just a weirdo, bro.
Except Baker. I mean, I was just Baker, like man. Watching this game, the Browns just went down 7-zip quick on like a – I guess you could call it like a fluke catch by Courtland Sutton. It was really an impressive catch, but I mean, it shouldn't have happened. He just basically like one-handed on top of his helmet and then pulled it down. And I was like, all right, whatever. The defense made a mistake, but I'm sure the Browns will score. And they're playing a 3rd-string quarterback, Brandon Allen. That was his first NFL game. This dude's been on like 3 teams, never had a shot in the NFL. So I was like, all right, Browns got this. I'm not too worried. Before I know it, the game's over. I'm like, wow, like where did this come from? And the Browns, this was like the must-win of must-win games because now their season is officially over. They can't even sniff the wild card even if they tried. They play a bunch of bad teams. They play the Dolphins. They play the Jets. They have more games to play that they could win. And it's just not going to happen. Like, even if they win out the rest of the season, it's just so unlikely. You know what I mean? And that it's just sad. You would think this team would have some kind of spark or motivation or something. They're just too talented everywhere. But that's kind of the dagger in the season for the Browns. And all that preseason hype, they are who we thought they were originally, which is the Browns, it's sad to see. They could get a quarterback. They get all the receiver talent in the world. It's something with the organization. You could blame a head coach, but at the end of the day, they just lose games. They find ways to lose games, and it's really sad. And I like I said, I never bought into the Browns hype much this year. There was games I thought they could win that they didn't. There's games I thought they compete where they didn't either. But it's just sad. Just sad to see. Same old Browns at the end of the day. Eagles-Bears. The Bears season is also over.
Beyond over.
That's also over. But me personally, I didn't expect the Bears to be that good of a team coming into this year at all. On the preseason podcast, I said I loved their under. I didn't think they were going to make the playoffs. The Eagles, I don't know how I even feel about the Eagles, really. The story of this game wasn't much the Eagles. It was more so just the Bears being bad. They had 90 yards of offense in the first half, which is horrible. Trubisky is just bad. He's like a garbage time quarterback. And I think the defense, because Trubisky is so bad, they're kind of giving up. You know what I mean? They're not playing the defense that they usually play. Their secondary is kind of getting lazy. We always talk about Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack is quiet. Khalil Mack has been quiet like every game, basically, since the first game he was on the Bears.
That's crazy, Cap.
Not completely quiet, but he hasn't been like a monster. You know what I mean?
Last year he was a monster, bro. Are you crazy?
Just like the first 4 weeks.
No, bro. You just want to see like the Twitter plays. Like, bro, Khalil Mack was he was second place for Defensive Player of the Year. They're not gonna do that based on 4 weeks. Well,
that's because the Bears' defense as a whole was like so crazy, and plus their secondary was so lock up that he was getting like plays because of the secondary. You know what I mean? Like coverage
true,
sacks.
But, I mean, hey.
Regardless, though, the Bears, they need to move on from Trubisky. If it wasn't obvious before this week, it's obvious now. You can't win with him at your court as as your quarterback. They got the playoff game. They honestly should have won a playoff game with Trubisky, but it wasn't because of Trubisky that game. And I think right now they're realizing when you don't have like the best defense in the NFL, the single best defense in the NFL, and like a crazy turnover margin, which they had last year, you can't win games. You know what I mean? Their offense is just too ugly. Nagy, he was a good offensive coach his first year, but people, you get the playbook on you and all those little tricky run plays, Tariq Cohen plays, those don't work anymore. You got to get a real running back, you got to get a real quarterback, and they have real receivers, so I'm not even saying that, but they just need to kind of revamp the whole team. Their season's done. So, sorry, Bears fans. And the Eagles, hey, congrats to the Eagles. I hope you guys can continue this. If I had to pick anyone from the NFC East except the Giants to do it, I'd pick the Eagles because at least the Eagles have some success in the past. I can't stand it. We'll get into that. Colts and the Steelers. Adam Vinatieri, considered one of the GOATs of kicking. He needs to retire. He's just been costing his team wins. He missed an extra point in this game, and then he missed a game-winning field goal. Just very bad all around. The Colts actually lost Jacoby Brissett. I don't know for how long, but he hurt his knee. Brian Hoyer had to come in. He was a backup for the Pats, right? Like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He actually had a pretty good game besides his pick six, which was horrible. But if you take that pick six away, he actually had a pretty good game. He led his team for a chance to win the game at the end for a field goal drive. And honestly, credit to the Steelers defense. They have a really nasty defense. Minkah Fitzpatrick came in and has completely changed his team around. TJ Watt's been making plays everywhere. Their secondary is good. You got to give a shout out to Mike Tomlin. He's gotten this defense correct. Their offense, it is what it is. It's a lot of you got to rely a lot on Juju and you got to rely a lot on the run game. But they didn't have James Conner for this game. They didn't have their backup guy, Benny Snell, and they're still able to make some plays and beat a pretty good team in the Colts. So the Steelers are still alive. They're 4-4 right now. Steelers playoff appearance?
Hell no.
Maybe not even wild card.
I don't even want to see the Steelers in the playoffs.
How come?
Not because their team's not good. Their defense is good and
they
have a chance to make it. But why would you want to see them make it to the playoffs just to get blown out or just to lose in the dumbest way possible?
Hey, if you put them
I'm
in
not saying give up, but I'm just saying
the AFC
just
is
wait till
weak.
next season.
The AFC is weak. You see them against the Texans, that's not a guaranteed win for the Texans.
That's
all I'm saying.
No, that's a guaranteed win.
I don't know, man.
That's a guaranteed
Steelers, win. I really do like that defense. I think that's one of the best defenses in the NFL. Just because they're always on the field. They're always getting worked really hard. They're like the definition of a really good bend don't break defense. And they also make plays. They get the ball, they get picks, they get fumbles, everything like that. It goes their way. So you got to give credit to Tomlin for that. Packers, Chargers. First bad game for the Packers, I'd say. They didn't really get much offense going on the field. Their defense was kind of meh. And I honestly, I think this was just a letdown game for the Packers. It wasn't really they played atrocious. They just couldn't really get anything going. And the Chargers were just, hungry dog runs faster sometimes. Chargers just the hungrier team, you know what I mean? They needed this game more than anything in the world. Melvin Gordon had a good game. Phillip Rivers had a good game. Their defense had a really impressive game. I mean, I don't know. We didn't really see too much of this game. It was just on Red Zone. But from watching the highlights on YouTube this morning, Packers just kind of seemed like they didn't really care too much. You know what I mean? I'm sure they're worried about some other stuff. They got that bye week coming in soon. So, were you disappointed about this Packers game, Malik?
A little bit. I mean, I thought it was a lock. I'm disappointed I lost the bet. But I'm not disappointed in the team. I mean, they just couldn't get They couldn't get anything going. Chargers didn't really look amazing out there.
Defense
they just played better. That's what it is. Packers just didn't play their game. That's Chargers are still beat to me.
Joey,
this doesn't turn anything around. Chargers, I still think their season's done.
Joey Bosa had a really good game. He was kind of all over Rodgers. Rodgers got sacked, I think 3-4 times.
Yeah. Bosa's gonna be Bosa though.
That is true.
He's been looking good even when they look horrible.
And yeah, a lot of people were saying this is going to be a Packers home game. I didn't see a lot of Packers fans, but granted that was because they were losing bad. So maybe they just weren't cheering and stuff. But tough loss for the Packers there. But at the end of the day, they're still the Packers. I still think they're going to be – I honestly do think they're going to make the Super Bowl or be one of the better teams in the playoffs. But we just got to wait and see. Pats and the Ravens. Okay, this is the game of the week. I think we could all agree. Everyone was – we had it was like a tale of two stories. You know what I mean? A lot of people loved the Pats, thought it was a no-brainer bet, -3, seemed like free money. And then a lot of people, a lot of sharp people at Vegas and stuff, loved the Ravens. We saw a lot of big bets on the Ravens and stuff. At least I saw them on Twitter and that Williams Hill or whatever. Tale of two stories. It was just a lot of people really thought the Pats were just going to come in here and win the game. Can't blame them, you know what I mean, from what we've seen all year. But the Pats, they played their first good team and results showed.
Man, they lost that game because of Brady.
It's not wrong.
Lamar was eating, but they lost that game because of Brady.
Yeah.
Brady looked like a third-string QB out there. Brady looked so horrible. I wish Johnny was here right now. He's probably not here because he doesn't want to talk about the Pats. Yeah.
Pats.
Brady looked bad, bro.
He had 2 picks. Julian Edelman had a fumble, which went for a touchdown.
Yeah.
And on top of that, honestly, like I don't know if this is even like safe to say, Bill Belichick got outcoached. He got outcoached, and
I don't think so.
He did.
He did, but I don't think like Bill Belichick was like. I don't think he cared about this game. I think like I forgot what I was watching. I was watching something. They're like Bill Belichick was First Take. We were just watching First Take. He's like Bill Belichick was just trying a whole bunch of new things out with the defense to see how they react. So like now, if they play him again, now Bill Belichick knows what to do, which is like smart as hell.
I think that's a lot of like Pat's nonsense.
Bro, but he's done that before. It's like nothing new. He did that with the Chiefs.
He did
in the beginning when they played in the beginning of the season. He tried a whole bunch of new shit out. That's why Chiefs looked like they were gonna win. Then the AFC, Chiefs couldn't do anything first half, and luckily they I don't even want to talk about that, but he's done it before. So
you gotta give credit to where it's due, though. I mean, John Harbaugh, whatever. I don't even really know how to pronounce his last name. Regardless, he's been a really good head coach all year. He's been going for it on 4th downs and stuff. He's been like a very confident coach. Obviously, what he's done with Lamar Jackson has been incredible. You know what I mean? Because nobody thought Lamar Jackson would even be a quarterback in this league. And now here he is. He's been talked about as like an MVP candidate, talked about being one of the better quarterbacks in the league. I still don't think Lamar is as good as people give him credit for, but he can win you games when he does stuff like this. And tonight, it was a perfect example of it. Just constant running around, being involved in the run game with a guy like Mark Ingram and with the tight end sets that they run. It's hard for another team to like adjust, you know what I mean? And I think when you do play the Ravens, we saw it last year with the Chargers, the Ravens won a game just because it fools defenses. It's hard to stop, and it wears the defense down because it's constant running, it's constant guarding tight ends, big players. There really is no like wide receiver threat. Granted, they have Hollywood Brown, who's super fast, but I mean, even him, you give him like a little 5-yard or a little bit of space on like a fade route or something, he's going to do the rest of the work. So it's a lot of like you got to tackle these guys, you got to make like real stops, you got to get them off the field. Some teams could do it, some teams can't. But I mean, I think if you play them twice, like you said, if the Pats play them again, I don't know if I could give the Ravens much of a chance. It would just be a little bit too hard for them. Just because I feel like they put it all on the line tonight.
Yeah,
like that was their Super Bowl.
It looked like they were like trying to. You would have thought that was their Super Bowl, bro. They were playing crazy. I was so pissed.
Their defense stepped up big time as well. Yeah, you got to give credit to that.
Yeah. They just look bad, bro. Oh my god, I cannot wait for Brady to. No, let me not get anyone mad.
Sheesh. But yeah, I mean, Ty, how'd you feel about your boy Lamar? I mean, you were saying he was looking amazing.
Man, that boy was going crazy, man. He looked just like how he looks in Madden. As soon as you hit RT, he's zooming, and that's what he was looking like. What's up?
He's just laughing.
As soon as you hit that RT, like I said, he's gone. He was looking crazy against the pass. Like you would have, and I think he's improving as a player. For last year he definitely wasn't looking like a good passer, but his passing is improving. He's already unstoppable on the run. If he keeps improving his passing, he's gonna be a phenomenal player.
MVP, Ty? Is he your MVP right now?
I'm not gonna say that right now, man. Let's just take it easy with the MVP chance. But he definitely balling out. Simple as that.
Gotta give credit to where it's due. The Pats, this was their first good team that they played. First team over 500, I think, that they played, besides the Bills. But the Bills are like the worst over 500 team that we could even name like this decade. And the Ravens. I mean, you could really go any direction with this win. You know what I mean? You could say the Ravens look elite, and the Pats just like got outplayed, or you could say the Pats just weren't ready for a good team, and the Ravens are kind of meh. Like you could really go any direction with this. In my opinion, though, the Ravens, they had the bye week. They prepped super hard for the Pats. You could tell this team.
I just think they were more prepared.
The whole team was motivated to beat the Pats, and the Pats, they were coming off a bunch of games where they were winning big, and sometimes it catches you by surprise. You know what I mean? And they dug themselves a hole quick. The Ravens scored 17-0 before you could even blink. They were just running up and down the field quick. And I think the Pats, they couldn't really dig themselves out of the hole in time to really make any noise. But I don't know, man. You think this affects the Pats' playoff chances? You think maybe
what, bro, that's
Super Bowl lock still?
Bro. Oh, well, no. You said playoff chances.
No, not their playoff chance. I'm saying, like, how they do in the playoffs. Like, does this change anything?
They still have an easy ride to the AFC Championship. and then they're gonna play either the Ravens or the Chiefs, and it's gonna be
Either or, yeah.
Yeah.
And at home, too, which is going to be annoying,
Yeah.
sadly, but it is what it is. Let's get into Monday Night Football. We got the Giants and the Cowgirls. You know, Ty's a big Cowboys fan. I'm a big Giants fan. So, you know, I got a little battle tonight. Got Saquon versus Zeke, Danny Dimes versus Dak, the whole thing. Ty, I'm gonna let you go first. What makes you think the Cowboys are going to win tonight? How you feeling about the Cowboys coming into this game? I do think they had a bye week. How's your man Jason Garrett going to prep this game?
Hopefully he can prep because that boy is an idiot. But besides that, we seen what happened the first time these teams met this year. Max took the bet on that one. Giants took an L. It's simple. Giants gonna take another L. You can't trust Danny Jones at this point with anything. You know what I'm saying? If you had a gun on my head or anything, and I don't care who he couldn't play the Dolphins. I'm taking the Dolphins because I just can't trust that man.
What?
I forgot they still got
That's
Danny.
crazy.
I forgot they still got Danny Dimes. Damn. Yeah, I think he's gonna have a bad game.
Y'all sleeping on Danny Dimes.
I mean,
But just to know the Cowboys, this is an easy win for the Cowboys. Giants gonna get washed. Like, you know, we getting back in rhythm. We ain't worry about them.
Yeah, it kind of is an easy one.
you
The
taking-
spread, I don't know, but it's an easy one.
You taking the -7 for the pod, Ty? An easy win. I mean, sounds like a
Might
lot.
as well take that -7.
I don't know if I'm gonna take the -7. I'm just gonna stay away from that. But I do know it's just an easy win. Simple as that.
Interesting. All right, well, I'm a Giants fan. We lost the first week of the season to the Cowboys mainly because of Eli. I think that's safe to say. Danny Jones, there's games and there's passes that he makes that make me think he could be an elite quarterback, and then there's games. It's really just his decision making. He throws the right ball. His pure athleticism and skill is there, 100%. That he could be elite with just that, but his decision making is bad, and I think that's just rookie mistakes, and that'll come with time. But at the same time, I don't think the Cowboys are that good. So, you look at the Cowboys' wins this year. It's all versus bad teams. The one good win that they have is versus the Eagles. Why did the Cowboys win that game? Because the Eagles just fumbled the ball. The Eagles shot themselves in the foot. They didn't have a chance to win the game. And then, when the Cowboys have a good lead.
That defense is bad.
The Eagles?
Yeah.
Well,
and
the
the
Eagles
Giants
literally-
defense is bad, too.
Well, the Eagles, for Giants defense is better than the Eagles.
Yeah, but they're still bad.
They're all right. They can stop the run, actually.
I mean, they're bad.
Their secondary is bad. And I'll live with Dak throwing the football because we know how he is.
Yeah.
Another thing is the Cowboys only are really good at home. When they play on the road, we know what happens when they play on the road. They lose to the Jets. The Jets have one win this season.
Damn,
you know how it goes.
Ty.
I don't think. Look, the Giants aren't good, but the Giants aren't bad. They're kind of like they're a below average team, but they have they could definitely be above average at times. The Cowboys though, I think they're like really not that good. So I think the Giants. Not sure if we win the game. I do think we cover the spread. I do think we keep it close. One thing I do know about these primetime games, Saquon has like a big game once a year, like a really big game. This is the game. He's gonna eat. I'm a little worried about Zeke. I'm a little worried about Cooper, but I trust our run defense. I don't really trust our secondary. But if you're letting Dak throw the ball, Dak can't light up a secondary, bro. Dak doesn't go out there and light up secondary.
We're about to
That's not what he
see
does.
it. We're about to see.
He didn't even light up the Dolphins secondary, bro.
Bro, we're gonna see it. We're gonna see it.
He played the Giants. He was bugging out.
That was versus Eli. That was literally Eli just.
Hey, Eli wasn't
being
part
Eli.
of the secondary, bro. It's still that same secondary.
That's why they won. Like they couldn't even move the ball. And at the end there, it was over. But that game was actually closer than it seemed, and that was at Jerry World. So now you put it in MetLife.
It's at Jerry World.
Giants, this is their last real game of the season. I don't think they're gonna really care too much about the rest of the way. I think this is their most important game of the year, just because the way the season's set up. It's just the most important game for the year for the Giants. I don't like Pat Shurmur as our coach, so I don't know how he's gonna do, what he's gonna prep for this game. He's an idiot, to be quite frank. However, I trust Saquon. I kind of trust Danny Dimes. I trust our weapons on offense. And I trust our run defense enough to maybe pull out a win here. Not expecting it, but I do think we could cover the spread. +7. I like that a little bit. We'll see how it goes, though. But, Ty, friendly bet on the air? 10? 10 Cowboys -7? What's up?
I already got the Cooper bet, so I'm chilling.
For what, 5? I'm taking...
I'll make it 10. I'll make the Cooper bet 10.
Make it 20, Todd.
I feel like you might get a garbage time touchdown, though, when the Giants are up 10.
I already took the bet, so you can't take it back now.
I'm chilling
got
with
20.
5. I'm chilling with 5, Ty.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think the Giants be up like 30. You know what I mean? Cooper get a garbage time touchdown. I don't want to deal with that.
The Giants gonna be up 30.
But nah, so I made a bet that Amari Cooper doesn't get a touchdown, which he probably will.
Crazy,
But I'm just betting it for the culture. On Bovada right now, he's like minus 130 to get a touchdown. So it's a bad bet, but it's just for fun. But yeah, let's get into our best bets, and then we'll talk a little bit of NBA news. We'll just talk about the Heat because that's the most important team right now, I think, in my opinion. So Jarny's 6-13. He's not on air today. He's busy. He lost last week, went 0-2. I went, I think, 0-4 last week? Pretty bad. I really couldn't even buy a winner. This week, though, I got the Giants +7. That's what I said on the podcast. Nothing on the NBA. Nothing for NBA today. Not a good slate. Thursday I'll have some more bets for you guys for NBA, but right now, not feeling it. And Giants money line sprinkle. Put a little bit on that money line. This is our game of the year. I don't care about the Cowboys bye week. Jason Garrett's an idiot anyway. Probably hurts them, if anything. They were just starting to get hot. And, yeah, Giants set +7. That's the real bet. Giants money line sprinkle for the culture if you want. Malik, what do you got?
I went 5-4 last week. That was bad for me.
49-38. Hey, it's pretty good.
It's good, but based on the 2 weeks previous, I was like eating. So 5-4, I don't like that. But I'm gonna just take 2. I'm not gonna give you another like 10. I just got Zeke anytime touchdown. It's a prop bet. You know me and my prop bets. Then I got Philly. I got Philly -1.5 against the Suns.
Yeah.
And B's not playing, but I still think that's a little crazy. I don't understand why it's only It could be a trap game, but it just doesn't sound right to me. So hit it now before the
You taking
spread.
Cooper too? Cooper, or that was just
No, that's too
between us?
much. I don't want Zeke and Cooper. One of them. If Cooper gets a touchdown, Zeke probably won't. Know my luck. So
Ty, so Malik's 49-38. Ty's 25-10. Lost the parlay last week. What are you rocking with this week?
I'm rocking with Philly -1.5. The Suns, they're looking pretty good so far this season, but I don't know. I'm still not buying the Suns. I think that eventually they're going to fall off. I don't know if they're going to sustain this level of play. Personally, they don't have Ayton, and they might seem like they're good without Ayton, but we're going to see how long that lasts. Really, they're doing so well without Ayton, former Celtic, Aaron Baines, but
he had the same former Celtic.
Philly coming in, no Embiid. No problem. They should take this game with ease, to be honest. -1.5, I think, is just disrespectful. The Suns look good, but I don't think they really are good. This is an easy one for Philly.
All right, so 2 teams in the NBA that I want to talk about before we wrap up: Miami Heat and the LA Lakers. So first, let's start off with the Heat, man, because I'm absolutely in love with this team. I feel like they're an easy 3rd seed. I bet with Ty that they'd actually be better than the Celtics this year. It's looking good.
Yeah.
It's looking good if they're beating the Rockets by 40. And curb stomping the Rockets. Gotta shout out the Heat because what they got going for them right now is a bunch of young talent, good mix of role players. They're still waiting for James Johnson back. They got their guys Goran Dragic off the bench. Dragic off the bench is a great look. They got Myers Leonard, who's been playing really, really good. Actually way better than I anticipated him playing. And they also got their star, you know what I mean, Jimmy Butler. He hasn't even been playing that good yet. He's just really keeping the team leveled. I think he's just trying to get other guys involved and really keep it a team mentality. But the story of this team right now is Kendrick Nunn and Tyler Hero. They're buckets off the bench. Kendrick Nunn starts, but he kind of plays the mixed role, the Clippers style. They got a phenomenal coach in Eric Spoelstra. The Heat are that. The Heat are a really good team. You need to watch out for them. I said it last week on the podcast. I was getting laughed at. Oh, the Heat. They're beating these teams. They're beating the Rockets by 40, man. That's a really good team. That's a contender in the West.
Their own issues as it is, so I wouldn't take that too lightly. They also lost to the Nets. The Nets stink.
That is true. But people expected the Nets to be decent, so it kind of makes sense from preseason projections.
They should be a little better.
But the Heat, nobody expected them to be this good, except me, I think, because I was jacking the Heat. But I really do like a lot about this team. Their young players are really good. Their bench players are really good. They got a good coach. It's Miami. You know what I mean? There's fans there. It's not like they're just some scrub organization. That's a respectable, proven organization with a good front office. They're making the right moves, and I do think at the deadline they're going to make a move for somebody else. I don't know who. It's going to have to be which team is doing bad or something like that. I do think they could go out there and get a decent small forward or something like that. But right now, I mean, they got guys like Bam Adebayo, Justice Winslow, who's not even been playing recently. Their young talent is getting better, and the really young guys, the rookies, they're just coming out like stars, and I do kind of think they could keep that up. So let's talk about the Lakers, though. I know you guys probably saw that Lakers-Mavericks game went to overtime. Danny Green with a big-time 3. But Ty, how do you feel about the Lakers? Because right now they're 5-1. We were kind of like, at least I was kind of like, not really feeling the Lakers this year, but their defense is starting to show up. They're starting to look like a really good team. How do you feel about them?
I mean, I was feeling the Lakers before the year started. They lost that game against open night against the Clippers. Oh well, they've been on a hot streak since. The Lakers is a real deal team. They're right now standing at first seed in the West. I plan on them staying there, to be honest. That team is crazy. You had a good game against the Mavericks.
Ty, you know Paul George is coming. You know Paul George is coming back, right? Like soon.
And what does that mean?
Isn't this not gonna change? Nothing's gonna change.
Lakers fans.
I mean, the Clippers will be better, but like, what does that? I mean, regardless, I have a bet that they stay top 3. So as long as they stay top 3, I'm saying regardless. Yeah. But I mean, one is just better security. We're not worried about the Clippers, bro. Like they can bring Paul George, but what are the Clippers right now?
I think the 3rd seed, 4th seed, something like that.
Yeah, man.
I mean, they're not. Right now, they're just like they don't even really care. They're waiting. Kawhi was out here resting games and whatnot.
Already.
That's what I'm saying. Come on, man. Screw the Clippers.
You feel like LeBron got an MVP chance in him? He's starting to get a little bit hot.
I don't think LeBron is even worried about MVP right now. To be honest, I don't even think that's on his mind.
Hell no.
I don't think he's going for MVP right now. My MVP focus is really on Embiid and Cat. I think they've been balling out. So that's what I'm giving MVP to currently if I had to pick somebody.
Well, they're both suspended right now, so don't even...
Yeah, but for like, what, 2-3 games? That doesn't really mean much in the NBA.
It doesn't, but hey, if they fight next time, too, we're going to look at 20 game suspension or something like that, so that's going to be interesting.
But, they don't play again until March, I don't think, so...
Yeah, March 29th. Now, that beef, I thought it was going to be a little bit more to that beef, but I guess Adam Silver, cut that out quick. I don't know. I thought there was going to be, more people talking about it, but... That was a serious fight to me for NBA. That was almost for what we deal with now in the NBA, it's less physical and stuff. That was some good old fashioned classic NBA action. But that's all we got for today. We'll be back Thursday. We'll recap Monday Night Football. Hopefully, I'm just going to assume the Giants won, so we'll talk about the Giants' epic win. Danny Jones had 3 touchdowns, 370 yards. Phenomenal performance from him.
That wouldn't even happen in a dream.
Nah, yeah.
I wanted to say in your dreams, but not even in a dream. I don't think that would happen.
But we'll be back Thursday. We'll talk some more NBA and stuff if anything happens, and we'll give out some more best bets. Hopefully, we improved this week on the best bets since we lost last week, but... Thank you guys for listening. As always, be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at TU Sports Pod. You can catch us anywhere you get your podcast, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, literally wherever you get your podcast. Just search up Teed Up Sports Podcast, and we will be there. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back Thursday. I'm Brock, and I'm out.
I'm Leak, and I'm out.
We're everywhere and we're anywhere. I'm Ty, and I'm out.